Welcome to Sharper Square, presented by Hard Rock Bet. We are part of the Volume Podcast Network. This is the show that makes the squares sharper and makes the wise guys pay attention. I am Chad Millman, and I'm joined, as always, by my BFF, my companion, my compadre, professional bettor, Simon Hunter. Hello, Simon.
Good morning, Chad.
Dude, I always feel like on Sunday mornings, I get up, I'm fresh as a daisy, I shower, I shave, I'm stretched, I'm ready to go, and you are looking for the nearest way to collapse after God knows how many hours of being awake.
I like doing this because we honestly do this, and I take a power nap after, so I'm like, this is the best. I'm very excited for the next hour because I get 30 minutes of sleep before heading down to Atlantic City and Oceans.
Well, let's get into it. This is the stripped down, in the room, eavesdropping version of Sharper Square. Simon and I are going to try to nail down our final 5 picks now that we know about injuries, of which there are many. Lineups have been set. Lines are moving. Simon, here we go. These are the games that we zeroed in on the other day. Plus, we're going to have to get to the rock and the hard place. I think we got 4 we like. We're going to have to find one that we can throw in. First one up, Miami Dolphins visiting the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are 2.5-point favorites. Look, this line has kind of stayed steady all week. I loved it early in the week on Tuesday. It was Chad's choice. I still loved it on Thursday, even though I started to waver. You talked me off the ledge. It's inching towards 3. I don't know, man. Like, Joe Flacco lighting up the Steelers on Thursday night just makes me realize how much more incompetent this Browns team is and the management is than we even thought. But we still got to put it in. That's my take. Unless you feel like, oh my God, everything I'm hearing the past 48 hours is walk away from this Browns team. Because sometimes when we are so confident, we end up having some blind spots.
Yeah, I'm honestly ashamed I didn't give up the under. That was a bad miss by me, just because I love a good wind weather under, especially weather that's affected by the Great Lakes. It's like unique spots. They're saying it's not supposed to be as bad. That's my hesitation here, Chad, is you want to bet a rookie as a favorite in 40-per-hour wind gust, potential rainstorm. Not ideal. And, we can lie to ourselves and say we're simply betting the Browns defense here, but we're going to need points. We are going to need this rookie to make plays in this bad weather. And historically, this has not been a good spot for Tua on the road in bad weather.
Terrible.
Yeah, like I want to be on the Browns, but it's hard not to see that this game, as told, you throw your model out the window. You're not really betting into something that could be predicted here because of the randomness that is highly, highly, highly windy games. Like they're saying there's going to be 40-per-hour wind gust in this matchup. So we can still do it. It's just you're throwing a huge variable here. And that's the little bit of nerve-wracking here where it's like I felt confidence because we had the defense. This is a great matchup for the Browns offense because this Miami defense is so bad, but we could get unlucky with the weather here. That's my only fear with this one.
All right. Well, it sounds like we're both trying to talk ourselves out of this game, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on, but we haven't even talked since Thursday, and we're both feeling the anxiety juju right now. So we're going to come back to it. We're going to put a pin in it. We don't know if it's going to make the final 5 yet. Philadelphia at Minnesota. Minnesota was plus 2.5. It's now down to 2. We've been betting it at 2.5. This was your Simon Says. Even when we didn't know who the quarterback was going to be, we were hoping it would be Carson Wentz. We got a little nervous when we heard it might be J.J. McCarthy. It is Carson Wentz. That's, I think, why it has moved, because professionals like the idea of Wentz more than J.J. We're getting it at 2.5 in the contest. We've been betting it at 2.5. I'm feeling pretty confident about this one right now.
I'm still into it, but not as confident because the Eagles did unfortunately get cleared a bunch of guys. Like Carter, I read this morning, probably going to play. Quinyon Mitchell, probably going to play. That is a big deal because we were about to have a huge advantage on that back end with this Vikings team. So I'm still on Minnesota. Still bet into it, like Chad said. A couple books have popped back to 2.5. Hard Rock is still sitting at the +2. So you can shop around, find Minnesota +2.5. I'm still on it. If it makes it one of our 5, I'm okay with that. But yeah, it's not ideal. We were going to be in a really nice spot. There was no Carter, no Quinn on Mitchell against this Vikings offense. But yeah, now it's an interesting spot. Like we talked about, it's going to be one of the biggest public sides in Philadelphia. So we already know we're going to be on the side the books need. We're getting a decent number. The question is, are we selling this Eagles team at their lowest point? And that's the fear here. But like I said, you're looking at the splits right now. It is all Philly money. So pretty interesting that this number, like you said, a couple of books hasn't budged. They're still a +1.5, -1.5 on this Eagles team, even after all the news came out of them getting Carter back and Quinyon Mitchell. So I like it still, but again, it's not going as perfectly as we were hoping it was going to go for us in this matchup.
All right, 0 for 2 on the games we were dead set on Tuesday. That we're now wavering on Sunday. Indianapolis at the Los Angeles Chargers, another one we felt great about. And look, the line has moved in our direction. It took a while, but the money, professional money, has finally come in on the Chargers. It was 1.5. Now it's 2. Look, the offensive line issues for the Chargers, I think, are so significant. We know we're sort of doing this because we think there has to be regression for Daniel Jones, and we want to get ahead of that. We think the Colts are overvalued. That's what we're playing here. We're not playing that we love the Chargers. I feel a little bit more confident that the line has moved in the Chargers' direction because we know that the Colts are going to be the public dog this week.
Yeah, and that's been interesting to watch this line movement. Like Chad said, it's shockingly moved towards us, which I thought it was going to go the other way. I thought this was going to be one of the games that would flip because the public is just so in love with this Colts team. And not that it's lazy being like, well, they're the 5-1 team. Why are they the dog here? But I think it's the classic case of they don't look at the matchups they played, the teams they've beaten. We talked about it. To me, the biggest advantage for the Chargers here is the secondary of this Colts team. Like they just got lit up by Brissett and backups. Like he didn't have Marvin Harris in that game. I'm looking at the injury report right here. They should have everyone. I know Joe Alt might not play here, but Johnston should be back. He should have Ladd, Keenan Allen, and Johnston as his wide receivers. That's a huge deal for Herbert. So I don't know. Is there a guy I'm missing on the Colts that can give us problems in the pass rush? They do have some guys with some sacks here, and they have been able to get pressure, but there is no Max Crosby type here. So I might have a blind spot here. I might be too invested in this Chargers team and just overvaluing them in this matchup. But I've talked about it. Harbaugh losing 4 straight against the spread. I did go back and look, Chad. It's never happened in his NFL professional career. This number being under 3, I think it's a good number. Like I just think the Chargers are undervalued against a Colts team that how can we not sell this team? They've been beating up on bad teams. This is a well-coached, good team. I know it's not a big name. He's an old man, but Khalil Mack is coming back as well. Those things do matter. Like that's another pass rush for this Chargers team against Daniel Jones, who we've seen the stats. He's incredible against the blitz. So we're going to need them to get pressure with 4. I got to do it. I got to stay on this Chargers side. So if we can force this one in, I'm with it. Like I said, there's a lot of games I really like this week. They're -1.5 in our contest, Chad. So we're getting a good number. It's a good matchup. I do like the Chargers.
Yeah, I don't think we're forcing it in. We got to find 5. We've been on the Chargers all week. In the contest, it's the best number. I'm feeling, I guess, most comfortable about the Chargers given the injury status and the matchup. My biggest concern is the offensive line. It's a concern everywhere, but I like being against the public in this game. I like fading a very public dog. So right now the Chargers are in. We're still wavering on the Vikings and the Browns. The 2 Monday night games we were feeling very confident about all week. And the numbers have moved aggressively in our direction. We are getting what they like to say is closing line value right now. Let's talk about Tampa Bay and Detroit. Detroit is now a 6-point favorite in this game. We got them at 4.5. They are 4.5 in the contest. This is after the news that Mike Evans is back for the Bucs, after the news that Emeka Egbuka is likely to play for the Bucs. So what we are betting on here is Dan Campbell and Jared Goff basically being 70% against the spread in this situation. You can name it. Coming off a loss, playing in a dome, playing at home, playing in prime time, you name it. This is a spot where you're backing this team. We're getting great line value. I have seen no reason to talk ourselves out of this game.
I see a few. I was not expecting Emeka Egbuka to be in this game. That's a huge deal when you're missing basically 2/3 of your secondary, like Detroit is against Baker here. That's not good. So I hate it. I can't believe he might actually play in this game. This guy's supposed to have a hamstring injury. So I mean, Emeka Egbuka's a freak. So I'm hoping they're just trying to scare us off and making Dan Campbell prepare for a guy that's not even going to play. That could just be what Tampa's doing here, right? A little gamemanship. But yeah, as soon as I heard he might play in this game, I'm just like, why did I make this my favorite bet on Thursday? And there's so many other games I like this week, but like Chad said, I don't know how we avoid it. It's -4.5. I've bet heavily into this one, not at 4.5, at 5.5. So, you could say it's not that big of a deal. It's just a point. It's crossing key numbers. It is a big deal. This might not be in our biggest public play of the week. It is. Everybody's just coming in on Detroit with us, which I'm shocked by. I thought Tampa would be a really big public dog. Some books, they still are, right? Some books do need Detroit, but yeah, I'm shocked this number has gone up to 6. Like Chad said, they gave out the info these guys might play. A couple books jumped to 6.5. So it's very bizarre where the professionals come in heavy on the lines, even though they know Emeka Egbuka might play. Mike Evans is definitely going to play. I just expected people to love Baker this back door. It's going the other way. Like you said, Detroit, it's moving their direction. Bunch of books that pop 6.5. There's one book out there still at 5.5. So can't deny it. Like, I like it. I'm on it. I'm just, again, we've been so well. I'm trying to see if I can avoid these traps we're walking into, because we're going to step into a couple of them. It's just part of the business that we're in. Year
with the Chargers multiple times.
Yeah, so it's tough. Where it's like I'm not trying to outthink myself, but it's like this line movement. All it does is give me more confidence, because there's pros on both sides of this one. The pros, obviously, that are really invested are coming in on Detroit rather than the Bucs. Like, the pros that are betting the Bucs, they're just betting small amounts. The guys who like Detroit, they're coming in pretty heavy on this side. So I'll stay with it. Like you said, it's 4.5 in the contest. We love line value. That's a lot of line value right there.
Detroit is in. The Chargers are in. Houston at Seattle, another one that has moved in the direction. I've loved it all week. I haven't really found a reason to walk away from it. The line is 3.5 in the contest. We're getting a half point of value. I don't think it's to me, going from 3.5 to 3 and getting the hook at 3 is as big as getting a 1.5 in other scenarios. This to me is massive. I think it's going to be a close game. The Seahawks have not been as good at home. The Texans have been off. The Seahawks just had a massive win on the road in which they lit up the Jags. This feels to me like we got the value in the Texans. We want to maintain that value. Even though I won't be able to watch this game, which is probably better for me, I still feel like the Texans are the side, and we can't talk ourselves out of it.
Yeah, just like any game, I probably could find a way, but no, there's not much to say. We're getting a great number, great defense, great matchup. Scheme-wise, they match up well against the Seahawks team, and Witherspoon might be back for the Seahawks. That is a big deal. You're going against a passer that wants to push the ball downfield. That's what CJ likes to do. So, yeah, it's an interesting matchup. Like Chad said, it's all about the hook. We're getting 3.5. I probably would still take Houston or contest if it was 3. That's how confident I am just in having that key number in this matchup of two teams that I think it's gonna be a defensive battle. I mean,
Yep.
last time I looked, the total was like 40. So, yep, can't avoid it. 2 Monday night games. Here we go.
I know it's going to be brutal. All right, our rock in a hard place, hard rock bet of the week. The Washington Commanders at the Dallas Cowboys. I'm highlighting this basically because, again, people know we play in a contest. Those lines lock midweek. In the contest, this line is Cowboys plus 2.5. At Hard Rock, the Cowboys are currently 1-point favorites. So it is flipped 3.5 points across 0. Cowboys from underdogs to favorites. Part of that, I think, is because wise guy money has been coming in on the Cowboys all week. And now we've got confirmation from yesterday. No Terry McLaurin, no Deebo Samuel. Look, Matt Eberflus is a terrible defensive coordinator who does not make adjustments no matter who he's playing. And he plays a soft zone defense, which plays to Jayden Daniels' strengths. I just want to be devil's advocate here for a second about the scheme and the matchup. But from a numbers point of view, it's basically flipped. It's 3.5 points according to Hard Rock, 4 points in other places. You like the Commanders all week. I feel like I need your take on this because the CLV is extraordinary.
Yeah, and I should listen to the pros. Didn't realize Deebo was going to miss as well as Terry. That's just, I don't know. That has to be a big deal. When your number one now has become Luke McCaffrey, can't act like that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And sure, Diggs hurt himself, so he won't be in this game as well for Dallas. Like, their secondary is just atrocious.
Doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter who's playing that secondary. Their scheme is so bad. Like, who cares?
I don't know. I think it does matter, but you've seen the total come down. Like, again, even though all the money is coming on the over, it's come down. I gave it out, I think it was 55.5.
Yeah.
Some books are down to 53 at this point. So, yeah, like you said, there's value on Dallas here. I'm in a weird spot where I haven't taken any position on it. We're strictly betting it because of line value and it being plus 2.5. So, at the end of the day, that would have to be your call. I don't have a read on it. We're simply playing it because it is a good number. And like we said, the professionals, that's the side they were on. I said that on Thursday, I believe, that the pros were coming in on Dallas. They knew something, and I just didn't have good info, and I obviously missed that number.
All right. So right now, we're locked in on Detroit, we're locked in on Houston, and we're locked in on the Chargers. The last game I want to raise, and then we got to find 2 games from, I think, a choice of 4, is New England at Tennessee. This was our big balls bet of the week. The line is 7. Do we have enough balls to put it in the final 5? It is 7.5 in the contest.
Yeah, autoplay. Waiting for you to bring it up. There's not much to talk about here. You can go back, listen to our shows. Tennessee, 7.5. Got to be in one of our 5.
All right. So then that's great. We got 4.
Is it?
We got 4. So
all right, let's talk about the games you're avoiding here. Jets plus 1.5.
No, thank you.
You're supposed to bet it. I don't want to bet it either, so
Nope.
I'm okay if we avoid it. But
you're going to bring up the Bears and the Saints.
You got to bring up the Bears and the Saints. Saints are plus 5.5. I mean, you can look at the live lines, I believe.
Yeah, it's 4.5.
They're
down to 4.
Down to
Actually, there's some places
here.
It's 3.5.
Just like Cleveland, it's a bad weather game. So, could that benefit this Saints team? That's an indoor team, and is Caleb going to struggle in this weather worse than Spencer Rattler? Again, how does anyone know that? Like, there's just no predictive analysis with that one. But like me and Chad said earlier in the week, this was a Saints number. This was a Saints side. The Bears are not good enough to be a 5.5 point favorite over a Saints team that's just not that much worse than them. So I'm not shocked by the line movement. I just thought it was really interesting that in our contest that they were plus 5.5. That talk about line value, they are down to 3.5. But it's another game where it's like, obviously if I'm betting it, I feel much more comfortable taking the dog, especially with bad weather in this matchup. But Is it one of my 5 favorite bets, Chad? I don't know. I had to bring it up just because of the line movement.
No, I get it. And I saw it this morning too, and I knew we were going to discuss it. My take on the Bears right now is this to me, thinking about this as a Bears fan, may be one of the most important games they've had probably in 5 years. And I'll tell you why. This is the moment. Are the Bears a good team that can manage their emotions and come back from a stirring victory and beat a team they're supposed to beat? Or are they a team that is still up and down, good coaching, good talent, but undisciplined, still making mistakes, that can't move on in a short week and really beat a highly competitive, scrappy team? That's it. That's the narrative for this game. We don't know that yet. So how comfortable are we betting one side or the other? I'm not comfortable betting either. I think we're having a conversation right now about Cleveland, Minnesota, and Dallas. And I still think it's Cleveland.
Okay. I'll tell you what, the 5 I put in early in the week, even though I did say I was on Washington, it was Houston plus 3.5. It was Detroit plus 4.5 or minus 4.5. Surprisingly, I did put Dallas in early in the week at plus 2.5.
Interesting.
Chargers minus 1.5, and then obviously Tennessee plus 7.5. So I am shocked that much money is coming in on that Chargers side. So people say we don't bet with the public. Those are 2 very public sides we're on right there. If we throw Dallas in,
so it's really coming down to,
if you do want to switch out Dallas for Cleveland, like that could be the one we dodge. Earlier in the week, it's got to come back around. The public has been getting killed. I mean, yesterday, I think they went 0-5 once again against the top 5 teams for college football, which was getting the most amount of money. So it's just been professionals who have been going against the public have just been cashing huge. So we could be stepping into it here, but I like trusting on my early week picks because it's before I get all this bullshit in my head, all this noise from the weekend of all these different teams. And yeah, if you want to switch Dallas for Cleveland, again, I'm betting to Cleveland way more than I have any money invested in the Cowboys. If you want to own that one, I am happy to make that switch.
Let's do it. I just feel so much better betting a good defense against a terrible Miami team and a quarterback who doesn't travel. We're going with Cleveland. I feel good about it. All right, our final 5. Cleveland minus 2.5. The LA Chargers minus 1.5. The Tennessee Titans, that's right, the Tennessee Titans plus 7.5. Those are the 3 games we got on Sunday. And then we're betting into the Monday Night Football doubleheader. We got Detroit. In the contest we play, they're at minus 4.5. That is our line. They are now at 6. And we're playing Houston. We get them at 3.5. They're at 3. I think we'd both still be comfortable playing them at plus 3. That is the final list. One more time. Cleveland, minus 2.5. Tennessee, plus 7.5. Chargers, minus 1.5. Detroit, minus 4.5. Houston, plus 3.5. We got there, brother. I don't know. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a really tough day. This has been Sharper Square, part of the Volume Podcast Network. We will be back on Sharper Square YouTube tonight live at 7:30 to recap all the misery and glory of the day. Watch or listen on YouTube at Sharper Square. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Also, download us from Spotify, Apple Pods, wherever you get your pods. Rate, review, subscribe, leave us 5 stars, say whatever you want. Feedback is the gift. Until tonight, love you.